It's good. YouTube. It's your boy Friends back at it again. For another Bible reading video. And today, I'm about to be reading out of Nehemiah chapter 13. I'm writing, since it's the end of this book and there's only one chapter left, I'm about to make this chapter video and the next book, the book of Esther, which actually is the name of one of the dogs. Um, I'm going to make the video for the first chapter. Um, yeah. Um, Without further ado, let's get into it. Nehemiah's final reforms. On that day, they read from the book of Moses in the hearing of the people, and in it was found written that no Ammonite or Moabite should ever enter the assembly of God, for they did not meet the people of Israel with bread and water, but hired Balaam against them to curse them. Remember, Balaam was um, it was to curse people, said, uh, God turned the curse into a blessing. As soon as the people heard the law, they separated from Israel all those of foreign descent. Now before this, Elisha, the priest, who was appointed over the chambers of the house of our God, and who was related to Tobiah, prepared for Tobiah a large chamber where they had previously put the grain offering, the frankincense, the vessels, and the tithes of grain and wine and oil, which were given by commandment to the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers, and the contributions for the priests. While this was taking place, I was not in Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes king of Babylon, I went to the king, and after some time I asked the leave of the king, and came to Jerusalem. And then I discovered the evil that Elisha had done for Tobiah, preparing for him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. And I was very angry and threw all the household furniture of Tobiah out of the chamber. Then I gave orders, and they cleansed the chambers, and I brought back there the vessels of the house of God, with the grain offering and the frankincense. I also found out that the portions of the Levites had not been given to them, so that the Levites and the singers who did the work had fled each to his field. So I confronted the officials and said, "Why is the house of God forsaken?" And then I gathered them together and set them in their stations. Then all Judah brought the tithe of the grain, wine, and oil into the storehouses. And I appointed as treasurers over the storehouses Shelemiah the priest, Zadok the scribe, and Pediah of the Levites, and as their assistant Hanan the son of Zach, their son of Mattaniah, for they were considered reliable, and their duty was to distribute to their brothers. Remember me, O my God, concerning this, and do not wipe out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God and for his service. In those days I saw Judea, people treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in heaps of grain and loading them on donkeys, and also wine, grapes, figs, and all kinds of loaves, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I warned them on the day when they sold fruit. Tyrants also, who lived in the city, brought in fish and all kinds of goods and sold them on the Sabbath to the people of Judah and Jerusalem itself. And then I confronted the nobles of Judah and said to them, "What is this evil thing that you are doing, profaning the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers act in this way? And did not our God bring all this disaster on us and on this city? Now you are bringing more wrath on Israel by profaning the Sabbath." As soon as it began to grow dark at the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I commanded that the doors should be shut, and gave orders that they should not be opened until after the Sabbath. And I atoned some of my servants at the gates, that no load might be brought in on the Sabbath day. Then the merchants and sellers of all kinds of wares lodged outside Jerusalem once or twice. But I warned them, and said to them, Why do you lodge outside the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time they did not come on the Sabbath. Then I commanded the Levites that they should purify themselves and come and guard the gates, to keep the Sabbath day holy. Remember this also, my favorite, oh my God, and spare me according to the greatness of your steadfast love. In those days I also saw the Jews who had married women of Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab, and, and half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod, and they could not speak in the language of Judah, but only in the language of each people. And I confronted them and cursed them and beat some of them. Jeez. Beat some of them and pulled out their hair. And I made them take an oath in the name of God, saying, you shall not give your daughters to their sons, or take their daughters for your sons or for your sons. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin on account of such women? Among many nations there was no king like him, who was beloved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, born women made even him to sin. Wisest man in the Bible, right? His wife was women. Like if you read the book of Proverbs, like real wisdom, but his lustfulness ended up strong by how wise he was. Among the many nations there was no king like him, and he was beloved by God. God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, one woman made even him to sin. Shall we then listen to you and do all this great evil and act treacherously against our God by marrying foreign women? And one of the sons of Jehoiada, the son of Elisha, the high priest, was the son-in-law of Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from him. Remember then, oh my God, because they have desecrated the priesthood, the covenant of the priesthood and the Levites. Thus I cleanse them from everything foreign, and I establish the duties of the priests and the Levites, each in his year. And I provided for the wood offering at appointed times and for the first fruits. Remember me, oh my God, for you. Okay, that is the end of the book of Nehemiah. And there's the last chapter. I'm about to make another video of him sick. After the book of Esther. But I really appreciate y'all for watching. Love y'all so much. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. Or, there's it. Peace.